Praise the Lord.
In all the praise and the glory, brethren.
Hallelujah.
I like to follow what was said to me, and our time has come where we have our speaker that is before us, the young one.
Yes.
And today, some may not know me by name. My name is Bishop Michael John from Mount Hope Pilgrim Spiritual Baptist Church.
Yes.
I'm in the house of my sister, and when I'm in this house, I'm at home. Praise the Lord. Because he says that we are one family, and when the family get together, there is no division, because we are bone of one bone, flesh of one flesh. And today I gave our teacher Marva the greatest respect. I watch her and I watch her ways. And if you learn her ways, you will know and able to understand the person that she is. Amen. He says that she may be harsh at times. Yes. But she wants you to be a good servant for the Lord. Hallelujah. He said today, brethren, many times we speak about putting our light upon the hilltop, so that what men may see our good works and the name of God may be glorified. But if you are in a ship, brethren, traveling on the sea, and the captain only be looking up at the light on the hilltop, that ship can run aground. So that's why another hymn says to let your lower light be burning. Send a gleam across the waves, that somewhat struggling seaman you may rescue, you may save. And I want you to continue to put not only the one up there, but the one below, so that you will be able to draw men unto you, because God is the one that has called you. And He placed you as the head. And He placed you in a position where you can grow. We talk about sinking sand, but you have able to overcome those. You have able to travel, as one song says, about toiling on. Toiling on. It says, we are servants of God. Let us follow the path that our Master has trod. With the balm of the counsel, our strength to renew. Let us do with our might what our hands find to do. Time would not allow me to sing it. That's why I give you these few words. And today I also want to give a spirit of faith the praise and the glory, because of them that we are able to travel today to Pastor Sherwin and to Teacher Grace. Thanking God for you, that you're able to provide a transportation, because when we look around we could not find transportation to come. But our Teacher Grace keeps searching and searching until we're able to find the transportation to bring this congregation here. So give them today we have a youngster that is here. One from Spirit of Faith. One from our Teacher Grace and our Pastor Sherwin. And when you see the young ones able to come forth with the word of God, you know that God is moving, because He said God moves in a mysterious way and His wonders to perform. Now He's like one that is planted by the rivers of water, And we hope that he will be able to stay fresh and green, that when some hungry soul pass by, they will find something to feed upon. That's right. I do not want to wear your patient too much, but I want our young shepherd, our brother Justin Bono, to come forward in not a name, but in Jesus' name.
Oh, Master, let me walk with thee. Holy path of service free.
whatsoever. I cannot even chant the words of your song. So please, lend me your voices, please, please. This is the first time I'm speaking at an anniversary, so I'm going to need your help more than you ever know. So sing, sing, sing. Give me everything you got, please. In hope, last night, shining Let me first greet God who's the head of my life. Hallelujah! To Teacher Marga, to Reverend Ashby, to my mother and father, Teacher Grace, Pastor Sherman. Thank you for the opportunity again. You guys could have said no, you're not ready for this. But you guys have faith in me, so I can thank you for that. To Dr. Sargent, to Leader Kenneth, to Bishop John, to everyone that I didn't name, everyone that is gathered here today, I greet you in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Funny that today's topic is on the job training. For the past 3 to 4 years, I felt like I've been training to do something. I don't know what that might be. So perfect that I'm able to do some research on this so I can better help myself and in turn help you all as well. Because we're all in some type of training here. Even before we are put into the womb, God knows everything about us.
Alright.
Our skills, our fears, everything that we may not know about ourselves, God knows. Therefore, God has a plan to develop us to our full potential to serve Him. It is up to us to fully listen and abide by the plan created for us. Now, what is on-the-job training? To simply put it, it is a test of your faith. Now, before I get into that, the minute I heard on-the-job training, I thought about school. Right? On-the-job training provides a different perspective into the job that you're assigned to do. In college, my professor stressed the fact that what you learn in school is only a fraction of what you need to learn for the job itself. The rest will be learned while on the job. There are situations that a textbook could never teach me or prepare me for and on the job for a real world job situation. It can give you an idea, but it will not replace the effectiveness of on the job training. So, what this means is that when God calls you, He already knows that you do not have the skills necessary to complete a job at the moment. It will all be provided for you. Now, it is at this point when we're called, we notice the difference between what we can do and the skill necessary to complete the job. It is at this point we need to realize to have faith in the fact that if we just step up to the plate, God will give us everything we need to be successful. Perfect example that I found in the Bible. David and Goliath. God had every intention on helping the Israelites defeat Goliath and the Philistines. But He was waiting for anyone to step up to the plate. No one in the army had faith strong enough to do so. See, the army of Israel, they paid attention to Goliath's physical appearance. The Bible describes him as a tall, big, muscular man. Now, to be very honest with you, if I'm in the army, if I see a very tall, muscular man coming at us, I'm going to have a little bit of fear in my heart. Because it seems like not even a gun will shoot this man down. So, understanding that, I understand that completely. But your faith must be stronger than what your fear is trying to tell you. Now, funny thing is, God will set up situations like these to see if you truly trust Him. These situations are created to test the strength of one's faith. Now, I have a confession to make. 2 years ago, I received a letter from ARK of the Covenant for me to preach at their Men on the Front Line. My mother and father told me of the news, and I immediately told them no. Why did I tell them no? I had no faith in my preaching abilities. Now, at the time, I maybe preached about once or twice, but it was in front of a small group of people. It was people that I knew. I was okay with that. Now you're telling me I have to get up in front of people that I have no idea who they are. I have to preach with others that I know that their caliber is better than mine. I know that they're able to preach better than me. So I let all of that stop me from stepping up to the plate at that moment in time. So I will say this because I know my dad probably apologized when my God doesn't want to go. So let me be a man in my own self and tell you I apologize for not coming. But please understand that my faith is not where it was today. So it kind of brought these questions to mind. Will you go even if the odds are against you? Do you trust me enough? Now, the minute David volunteers to fight, there's a huge uproar within the army. David is just a child. What could David hope to do against a man like Goliath? Now, David is a child. David's probably like yay high compared to a man who's probably about this big. So of course, when the army sees this physically, they say, well, there's no match for David to do. There's no way David's going to do this. But what they didn't see was the strength, the power of David's faith. Because he may have been small in stature, but his faith provided everything he needed.
Amen.
David knew that if he was given permission from God to fight, there would be nothing to fear. The battle was considered won in his eyes. Now, to the actual on-the-job training, because that's a whole process that we need to kind of figure out what it is so that we can properly take part in it. Because there's an opportunity, on-the-job training is basically an opportunity for you to better yourself. But no one is going to force you to walk into it. Just like no one's going to force me to walk into ARK of the Covenant 2 years ago to preach here for the men on the front line. But doing the research now, I began to understand that there was an opportunity to better prepare myself for maybe a situation like today, where I have to come and speak in an anniversary. Mind you, a 25th year anniversary, mind you. I thought it was 15 years. Okay, cool. Okay. You can do this. 25 years. Now, to explain on the job training, I want to use the story of Samuel, but I'm going to kind of break it apart and kind of give you different pieces. Alright, let's start. Now, I realized that in order to participate in on-the-job training correctly and properly, there are two attributes that you need to work on, two skills that you need to acquire. First, awareness. In the same way David was aware of the God that we serve, we too must be constantly aware of God. Now, the definition of awareness is knowledge and understanding that something is happening or exists. Now, let's look at Samuel when he was a child, when he was brought into the tabernacle. There was a point in time where Samuel began to hear voices. He's beginning to hear the voice of God. Now, Samuel has no idea who is talking to him, so he runs over to Eli. Master, did you call me? Master, did you call me? This happens 3 times. Now, something to point out here. Although Samuel was not aware of what was going on, he was obedient to his master. Meaning that Samuel had the awareness of what was going on, his obedience to answer his master would have been there. I learned of a story a while back about Elijah and his servant. And there was an army coming for Elijah. They were looking for Elijah. And I may be getting his name wrong. Maybe Elijah or Elisha. But his servant came running back into where they were, and the servant says, Master, there's an army outside looking for us. And instead of being afraid of what was outside to face him, Elisha began to pray and to ask God to open his servant's eyes because he cannot see what is going on. How many times have we been facing a situation where we just do not understand what is going on? Where the odds are against what we are, the odds are against us, is stacked. When Elijah steps outside, the Bible tells us that there's a horde, the army of God is surrounding. Now that the army's here, the army's here, but the army of God is surrounding them. Meaning that you are fine, you are okay. But had you had the awareness to open your eyes and to see what was going on, you would not be running back inside to tell me what was going on.
Amen.
Now let's continue from here. Now awareness is kind of the thought. Now you know, you kind of understand, you have in your mind that, okay, we're serving God, God is here to protect us. You're aware of that fact. Now after the awareness comes some type of action on our part. Right? It's all great and awesome to think, well, alright, God is here, God is good, God is great. But if we're not taking the action to serve Him now, to act on those thoughts, then it means absolutely nothing. Now, let's go back to Samuel. Eli had 2 more students. Those 2 students were his sons. Now, the Bible tells us that the sons were priests, right? So I automatically assume that if you're a priest and if you're acknowledged as a priest, that means that you're fully aware of who God is.
Go ahead.
You understand what God can do, and you understand the rules that you must follow.
the Bible tells us that these were wicked sons that they put in a short way. They like to. What did I read? That really caught my mind when I was at work. So they like to bring women into the tabernacle. Right? Now, a priest is not supposed to do that.
No. Yeah.
A priest cannot do that. Now, although they had the awareness, their obedience, their discipline was off. Completely off. There's something wrong with that. Now, this means that you must have awareness, and then you must have the obedience to do it as well. Now, I want to go back to that story with Elijah and his servant. Now, because Elijah was aware of what was going on, he had the opportunity to take action. He's not afraid. He knows exactly what he needs to do. So he ends up tricking the army and telling them, I do not know who the man that you speak of, but I can take you to him. And they are leading that army into a trap. Right? Now, this is something that we need to kind of practice on. It's something that we need to kind of take into consideration. Be aware of the fact of what's going on around you. Be aware of the fact that God has your back. And then use that confidence that God is giving you through awareness to make that action, to serve Him correctly. Now, awareness and obedience, discipline cannot, they complement each other. A great example. Now, for the past, year and a half or so, I've been trying to work out. I've been trying to, get myself in shape and all that other stuff, right? So, the first part of that, the first requirement for me to even start that process is to be aware of the fact that yes, Justin Born and you are overweight. Okay. You got to do something here. There's something wrong. You got to do something. Right? Now, I can be aware of the fact that I'm overweight, but if I don't take the time and the necessary steps to plan a diet, plan a workout plan, plan a workout, to do something with, to take action to change it, nothing's going to happen. Now, the same thing is with obedience now. Now, I may not be aware of the fact that I might be overweight, but I might have the discipline and the necessary drive to go to the gym and to follow the right diet. But what can end up happening? If I'm not aware of what's going on right now, I might lose too much weight, so I'll look like a crackhead. Right? You ever seen some people lose too much weight? And the head is very big, and the rest of the body is very small. I don't want to end up like that. I want to look nice. I want to look nice. So, the same way where you can't just have awareness, you can't just have obedience and discipline, because imagine if you end up being the wrong teacher. And we're going to touch on teachers now. Teachers are extremely important. They don't even know it. Teachers are there to guide the students who are participating on the job training. Now, had Eli been a better teacher, his sons might have ended up the way they've ended up. I will commend him on this though. When Samuel came back the third time to tell him, Master, I'm here. He tells Samuel, the next time you go and you lie down, say that, Lord, thy servant here. That was probably the best thing he probably ever did that I read. That was the best thing. He taught him to be aware. Teachers, it's up to you to help your children to become aware. And after they've become aware, to kind of guide them and to discipline them so that their awareness does not go for waste. It is not wasted on anything. Now, there's one last part. I don't want to take too much time because I know a lot of time is going to go on today. So I'll touch this last thing because I think it's very important. Now, you have to know your limits. Not to stop, but to know where you need to push and when you need to push yourself. The hardest part about on-the-job training is the mere fact that it makes us completely uncomfortable. Our limits are tested, and this can always be an uncomfortable position to be in. Although we feel this way, the testing of our limits allows us to become better in serving God. When you know where your limits are, you know exactly what areas you need to push through. Now, I like Moses for this example. For the mere fact that God chose him to lead people out of Egypt. God chose him to go and talk to Pharaoh to let his people go. But meanwhile, Moses had a stuttering problem. Moses had a confidence problem in getting these things done. Moses knew his limit. Right? He knew his limit. But he didn't want to push past his limit. When after his experience with the burning bush, and God tells him to throw his rod on the floor, and it becomes a snake. God tells him to pick up a snake by its tail. Understandable, Moses is saying, that's a snake. I don't want to pick up a snake. That snake is going to bite me. And God had to reassure him, I'm not going to, basically saying, I'm not going to tell you to pick up a snake and it's going to bite you. Same way, I'm not going to tell you to go to Pharaoh and to tell him to let your people go, let my people go, and you're not going to be successful. How many times have we been told to go and do something? We've been so scared to go and do it, but God told us to go and do it. God told you to go and do something, you're going to be successful at doing it. But we're too caught up with what we see instead of what we actually should be looking at. Comes back to awareness. Now, this limits. I remember Thursday night, Friday night, Thursday night, Friday night. I finished work, came home, fell asleep. I woke back up. It's like around 10 o'clock, and I tell Mom, I'm going to the gym. And I'm running. And I stopped for a moment because I'm tired. I feel like I'm at my limit. And I looked at myself in the mirror here. There's like a glass thing here on the treadmill, and I'm looking at it. I said, what are you afraid of? What is stopping you right now from going further than what you're doing right now? You're at your limit, yes, but you have enough energy, you have enough power, you have enough drive to keep going. What is stopping you from going further? Now, I didn't exactly say those words. I had to kind of be rough on myself. I'm not going to say it in front of you guys here. But that's the basic, that's the gist of it. God knows your limit. But again, the same way that you're supposed to step up to the plate and to take action, it's the same way you're supposed to step up to the plate and take action and breaking through your limit. God doesn't want to see you stagnant and remaining at this level. He wants to see you get to this level. He wants to see you here, and then all of a sudden, okay, well, this is another on-the-job training thing here now. Now we have to train you to get to this level. Now you get to this level. And you get into this level. Higher and higher and higher. He doesn't want to see you down here all your life. The people around you might want to see you down here all your life. You guys know that's a fact. They want to see you down here all the time. They hate when you're here. They hate you even more when you're here. And they're ready to kill you when you get up here. But there's nothing to fear when you get up here. Because God got your back. No matter what it might be. Only thing that you need to really focus on at this point in time is to really push through your limits. I kind of touched on this the last time I spoke. Don't look at the person next to you. Don't look at the person to the right, left, back, center. Always look in front. Keep going forward. I have a few little. I have like a little takeaway message here because I think this is enough time by now. So I'm coming down. So on-the-job training is absolutely necessary in this life. It helps us to build our relationship with God and gives us the opportunity to exercise our faith in God. The first thing, awareness combined with the ability to be obedient allows us to take part in and be successful in on-the-job training. Remember that while taking part in on-the-job training, your limits will be tested. But it's not to encourage you to stop where you are, but to push through when God is ready for you to do so. By the way, let me go back to that limit thing with the whole running. Now, I had stopped because I noticed I'm not really getting, I'm tired, but I'm not as tired as I used to be. Let me explain it. So, on the treadmill, I would run 5 miles per hour. Right now, it took me a very long time to get to that stage. I don't know if anyone here runs, but it's not that fast. But it took me a while to get used to it. I realized my body was getting used to it. I'm like, all right, let me go to 6 miles per hour. 6 miles per hour. I tried it, and my body is screaming, stop, 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 stop. So I stopped. And I realized, and that's why I spoke to myself, what are you afraid of? This is exactly how you were feeling at 5. Get to 6. Keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. That's the great part, because when you get to 6 and you understand 6 and you're feeling good with 6, and it's like, oh. Right? And then 8. There you go. Why not 8? See, the moment you'll start to fall in love with breaking your limits. You'll love the feeling like, yes, I broke it. I'm here now. Let's go to the next one. Let's get that same feeling again. And one last thing. And I think this is very important. Do not be afraid to have your limits tested. The person who knows their limits is stronger than the person who doesn't.
That's right.
The person who knows their limits is stronger than the person who does not know their limits. The person who knows their limits is stronger than the person who does not know their limits. Teacher, I want to thank you. Just for the mere fact that you helped me break this limit with this Pope preaching.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's been 2 years ago when you told me to come preach. You know that I wasn't coming. I wasn't going to come. I'll come into the journey, yes, but no, wasn't going to happen. But I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to show that I could do it at some level. I know I could probably do it a little bit better, but as time goes on, you'll see more and more of me come on. My dad. So he left me alone for a month now, a whole month. Right? Not asking me anything, nothing at all. He's like, all right. I want to thank you for having faith in me. Amen. To say, well, all right, you're going to do this, and you're going to get through it. Amen. I think he understands that I can't always depend on him for everything. Amen. So I have to kind of get through it. So whether I do good or I do bad. Amen. But I know he's always there to support me.
Praise the Lord.
Teacher Grace. Now, Mom is different. Moms are always different. She wants to know, so what are you studying? And what's this and what's that? So I thank her for giving me a listening ear, because she kept asking me, like, all right, this is what I'm doing. So it would be those, when I'm waking up in the morning, I'm ironing my clothes and I'm talking to her, Mom, I'm doing this, and that. But you think about this, and that, and she's talking and she's giving me her own experience with work. And I'm like, okay, great, thank you, but not to say I didn't want the help. But I have to learn to do this on my own, man. Amen. You guys have been awesome. You guys have given me that support, always that support. Every time I have to preach in-house, out of house, I thank you so much. You guys have really been back. I hope that I was able to give everyone a word. And if anything, please focus on your limits. Know your limits. We are stronger than the person who does not know this. Thank you. That's right.
To God be the glory, great things He has done. Oh, in the world that He gave us His Son. Oh, in the wonder of and of Give him the glory. Give him a hand again, Brother Raymond. Because we know that God is good. And great things he has done. Now he has been started. And now we are able to press on to the mark of his high calling. Praise the Lord. To call and our sister Pat, who is going to bring the year in review in not a name but in Jesus' almighty name. Sister Pat.
Oh, Jesus, I surrender.
Oh, to him I freely remember I will ever love and trust him in his presence, saving
our teacher Marva. Special good afternoon to our guests. Thank you for coming. Brothers and sisters in Christ, children in the midst. My job is very easy. Greetings once again in the mighty name of Jesus, our conqueror. We continue to be amazed at the numerous blessings that God has given us throughout the last year. We give him all praise, honor, and glory. This year we celebrate 25 years of his marvelous excellence. In August of 2007, we had no baptism. We need to work harder. In September, we had pointing. Sister Joy went in to have a closer walk with God. She had a grand time and so did we. November, we had our beautiful teacher, Grace, take a walk with God. That too, we had a wonderful time. We also journeyed to Kittery, Maine for our annual shopping trip in November. In December, our annual children's Christmas party was held. The children had a wonderful, wonderful time because it was all about them. Santa visited us. Santa looked good this year, he lost some weight. All year's night service, we had a service with a difference. We had a plant exchange. And we were exhorted by our mother to care for the plants as we should care for one another. I hope those plants look beautiful. In January 2018, we opened the year with prayer. We closed with prayer and we opened with prayer. We also began our bi-monthly shut-ins, which are going well. In February, Sister Tanika James christened her baby Aliyah. In March, we had our 21st year of Women in Mission. Friday service as usual in March on Good Friday. In April, we had our men in the front line where we heard Brother Justin speak for the first time. We were very impressed and we are even more impressed today. Keep it up, Brother Justin. In May, our annual prayer breakfast this year was held in Brooklyn, New York. Those of you who missed it, I'm so sorry, you missed a good thing. Bishop John was waving a napkin, he didn't have a flag, it was so sweet. Teacher Marva and Pastor Terrence was dancing, things was nice. Come next year, go visit. Our speaker was Pastor Sheldon Bernard of Texas, and he did a wonderful, wonderful job for us. And we thank you, all of those who came, all of those who had a wonderful time at our prayer breakfast. In June, we had, as usual, we fed the community on Saturday before Father's Day, and on Father's Day, we fed the shelter and we gave gifts to the fathers at the shelter. Today marks our 25th year of service to God, and we want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts to all of those who have continued and will continue to help us throughout the many years to come. On behalf of the ARK of the Covenant, Thank you.
Praise the Lord. We're coming down quickly. We have next on the program a feature address by our arch-based teacher, Marva Ashby.
Man of God, pleasant day to you. A very pleasant day to my speaker. First I want to say, I want to address you. I am grateful to God. You know, I think you can say I want to thank God because of social reasons for giving me that topic on the job training. It's to let you know and to let Lemuel know. Because the last time you spoke, Lemuel was very impressed with you. And I said to him, it's on the job you would be able to fully understand what God wants from you. Today, I listened to you carefully. And I know that you are feeling more comfortable within yourself. Yes. And every step that you make, the Lord is going to grant you the energy, the courage to go step by step. I listened to your words carefully. Wow. You are very knowledgeable. You did good research. You understand what on-the-job training means. We in the spiritual Baptist faith needs to understand what on-the-job training means. Because within the congregation of God, man do not want to listen. Man do not want to pay attention within the house of God. Today, man wants you to give them a book so they could write. Yes. But where I came from and the understanding from God, you don't need a book. When God speaks, you don't forget what He says. You just have to listen and take guidance. Hallelujah. So I trust that you too will take on the job training. And you're learning well. Because if you didn't, your parents, Teacher Grace, Pastor Showing, wouldn't be so reassured. Your father did not ask you anything. He was confident that you would do your due. I remember the last time you said, I got this.
Yes, you tell me that.
Amen?
Yes.
I won't forget that word. You got this. So I know to myself that the Lord God shape you and fashion you for the purpose of this is the time. And my job as a teacher is to push young people. That's my job. Amen. I am a builder. When I was given this job, they told me I am a builder. And my job is to build everyone that passed through my hand, is to build you from the ground up. And when you build and you reach a stage, you have to go out and do what God gives you to do.
Praise God.
So you keep doing what God gives you.
Yes.
Family of Christ, I am happy to be standing within this congregation today. I want to thank you for being here with me at this time. 25 years was not easy, but yet I loved every bit of it. Praise the Lord. Sometimes we're rough, sometimes we're tough, but I learn a lot.
Praise God.
I enjoy being a servant of God.
Amen.
I always, as a child growing up, wanted to serve God. It was my desire. I did not know that God had this in store, but I enjoy serving Him. And I want to thank God for choosing me. To the members of the Ark of the Covenant, those who are downstairs, will you ask them to rise and come upstairs, please? Especially my sister. Where's she at? I am seeing her. Brethren, I would like you to give Mother Debbie a round of applause. Very hard in the Ark of the Covenant. Mother Debbie, Sister Margaret. Without my sister, I wouldn't be able to stand. Amen?
Amen.
I want to thank God for her today.
Amen.
All that you see here, it's her.
Amen.
You know, when we were growing up, she was very tough and miserable. But I thank God for it. You know, and I thank God that she's here with me, and I thank God for the good times, and I thank God for the bad times. And I listened to is Shepherd Kenneth that said we have to disagree to agree.
That's right.
And we always disagree to agree. But there's one thing, she always stepped up to do what God asked her.
Amen.
Whether we disagree or whether we agree, she is going to be here to do what God asked her.
Amen. Amen.
I have nothing to do with it. I want to say thank God to Mother Maureen. All the paperwork that's done in this house, it's Mother Maureen. Amen? Yes. We all have our job. Mother Maureen is not the fix-it woman. Mother Maureen is not the clean-up woman, but Mother Maureen is the paper and computer person. Amen? And I want to thank God for that. Amen? Amen. Because on the job training means that they have different people for different positions. And Mother Maureen, the position is in the office. Mother Debbie's position is taking care of the house of God. Mother Maureen have her disciples. Mother Debbie has her disciples. Amen? And they all work according to their honor and glory. Amen? Amen. I want to personally, again, spiritually, I want to thank Brother Tony. Because Brother Tony, this evening is the strongest man we have in here. Everybody else will. I'm saying that to understand. Bishop Ashby have a problem. He have a heart problem. Right? We have Brother Julian have a heart problem and a kidney everything problem. Amen. Who again we have?
I struggle.
We have Brother Lemuel, stand up, Brother Lemuel too young to do much work. But he does the best. But Brother Tony, I have no problem. Brother Jerry does all the fix it when you call him. You see how the ground shining? Whenever you call him, Brother Jerry does it. But these men work very hard within the ark of the covenant. Amen. We have Brother Justin. When we see him, he works very hard. But I want to say this evening to the men of God within the house of God, I love you all. I thank God for your labor. Sometimes I can be very tough, but that too is my nature. Amen? I am a very strong and a person that like it to be right. Hallelujah. Independent. That's right. I like things to be perfect. I am a person like perfection. And for that, it always have a problem. Because I believe within the house of God, you're supposed to be perfect. I have a problem when you're telling me about you can't, and I have a problem. Because there is nowhere in the book that they tell you to try, they tell you to do it. Amen? Amen? You know, when we say these things, people just get shut up their mouth and they just talk and they just this and they just that. I believe within when you're in the house of God, you have a choice. It's either you're doing it or you're not doing it. Don't do it halfway from me, I can't take it. Do it and do it right. I believe in telling you as I see it. I'm not going to mince words for you. Most people don't like it that way. But I want to say, when you're dealing with the Holy Spirit of God, those of us who sitting or standing at the head, for God's sake, speak the truth and set the sinner free. Do not compromise yourself, because when it comes to God, it's you alone going to hell. Nobody ain't going with you. I love my mother all, but when she went down in the hole, I didn't jump down with her. They covered her and I walked away. Amen? Amen. So nobody is sending me to hell. I go in there by myself. So I am going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. Hello. You know, I grew up in a house. My mother used to tell me the door swing both ways. Either you like what I'm saying to you, and you're going to abide by the rules, or you're going to take the door. I grew up, at these days, I'm trying to see if I can humble. Because my daughter said to me, don't hide. You know, sometimes when you're getting older in the faith, sometimes the younger ones just come to direct your path, you know? She said, Mommy, take it easy. I believe, and sometimes I think your nerves, and she said, I suffer with what I have anxiety attack. She said, Mommy, listen, that's not how to do it. Anxiety attack. I said, you know, come, I hear all this time. But maybe, as she said, Mommy, the people of today, the people of the day not able to take what you're dishing out. So you have to be able now to speak a little softer. You have to be able to deal with them at a different level. I trust God that she will be strong enough to be able to do that. Because those of us who are set in our ways are already set in our ways. Amen? I'm not changing for nobody. We're going to continue on this way until God sends somebody else to take it from here. Amen? But I thank God for all what He has done. I thank God for Leader Kenneth. I thank God for Mother Allison. I thank God for Mother Hazel within our midst. I thank God for Pastor Sherwin. You know, I want to say to Pastor Showing today, brethren, that Pastor Showing has been my friend from the very beginning. Think about.
Yes.
Pastor Showing was here with me when things was rough, when things was good. And he has always been there for me when I'm crying. He dry my tears when I cry, and he always keep me standing firm. Amen? Amen. I want to thank God that I got to know his wife through the mercies of God. Amen. You see, God is not a God of confusion or corruption. I want us to think carefully about God that you serve. Amen. You know, God find that him and I are close. So the Lord find, you know what, I'm going to fix that. It's time now for me to bring the family together.
Amen. Amen.
So the Lord now send Teacher Grace. Teacher Grace. And brethren, I want to tell you to prove God and hold fast at that church. It's not everybody that come and say God, 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 mean God. Because when the time reaches, I said, please write. And I started to walk and ask God a question. Because I believe if God is going to send you to me, the Lord must talk to me. You can't come just so. And my companion sitting right there, I remember sitting on the table. And immediately as I sit right here was the Lord speaking to me concerning Teacher Grace. Amen? Amen. So I know Teacher Grace didn't just come because Teacher Grace wanted to be part of. But I know that she came because God sent her. And for that, I want to thank you for your obedience. I want to thank you this evening for your love that you have shown unto me, Teacher Mark. I want to thank you for the respect at this age of my life. I also want to thank your deceased. You know, brethren, on the job training. If you didn't get on the job training, you couldn't treat me with love and respect.
Hallelujah.
But because you was trained properly,
Yes.
that you're able to show me love and respect, that sometimes I and all the shiver because I don't know how to handle it. Today I'm very proud of you. And I pray that spirit of faith grow from strength to strength. And I would be alive to hear 25 years. Continue to grow. God bless you all that you have your son that is standing as a shepherd. You have your husband as the pastor. And you standing as the point, and you have your spiritual increase growing from strength to strength. Very few people got that.
I know. Yes.
So I want to let you all know today that you all are blessed.
Yes.
And I pray that the Lord God will continue to give you strength and courage. To my friend Mother Pearl, I love you.
Love you too.
You've always been there for me. You have taught me a lot. I pray God that you will continue to grow. You're always quiet, stop being quiet. It's time to shake the tree and let the manna fall. Amen? It's time to shake the tree and let the manna fall. I want to hear some pointing taking place up there, and I want you to stop telling me that I ain't ready yet. Stop it. Stop sending them all over the place. Stand up and do God's work. Because you know that you could do this. To all my spiritual family, to my mother that traveled from far. Where you want to my mother that traveled from far. Hallelujah. I thank God for you. I thank God for the love that you're showing Baltimore as a family. But you're here today. I thank God for your son that bring you. I pray God that you will reach home safely. We are trying to step one step at a time. It's not easy, but you have to enjoy it. Amen? Amen. To Mother Hazel, to God be the glory. Great things. It's not easy to stand, but you know it, though. You're here a long time, was it 40 years, long time, To each and every one, Mother Anita, Mother Mavis. Mother Mavis, you're making 25 years with me. Because you've been here from the beginning of time. Minister Sandra and your mother, they're here with me from the beginning of time. I remember they beating, tapping and clapping. I remember everybody can remember when I started here and started to point my first man. I had nobody, Shepherd Kenneth. Nobody, just me, and I had to point, and Mother Mavis, Mother Anita, yes. Mother Jackie, and all these people from Mother Hazel, you remember? From over by the different churches, Mother Grace, and everybody came. Yes, and Jaja. And all these people came. And I thank God for that today. I thank God for the strength and courage that I have. We're going from strength to strength. And I pray God, I thank God for the companion of my life. Life has been tough and rough with us. But I believe I'm blessed. Amen. 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 I believe. Fully blessed. Don't you think you're blessed, Bishop Ashi?
Yes, say yes. She said yes.
I was just saying to you, how come you wouldn't be blessed? Look at me.
Yes.
So I thank God to see you. So brethren, and I'm going to stand here for no lengthy conversation, but I have a word. I was listening to someone speak. And we all would like to know that we have someone that would hold us lest we fall.
That's right.
Amen? Amen. Within the physical world that we live in, it is not guaranteed to us that we wouldn't fall. Because rainfall, you could slip. All different things can happen and you can slip and fall. Sometimes we make wrong decisions. And instead of we go straight, we take a left turn when we should take a right. And things happen. And we would like to know that there is somebody that loves us unconditionally, regardless to the consequence. They will be there for us. I want to tell you today, if you didn't find them yet, try and find. Because I have found my I want to call it, I'm finding a word for it.
I don't know, I still wait.
I have found that love, that's what you call it.
Yes.
That love that I could lean on.
Praise God. Praise God. Yeah.
That encourages me. Even sometimes when things are wrong and I want to make the wrong decision, encourage me to make the right one.
That's right.
Even sometimes when I want to say the wrong thing, it's encouraging me to say the right thing.
Yes.
Let us try our best to understand that Jesus, the Son of God, is there for us to learn. Yes. Not just speak it, but understand what it truly means to lean on Jesus, the Son of the living God. Not only because we read it, but understand what it means. When you use the word, no other help have I. what it really means to able to lean on God. Without speaking to anyone, without saying anything to anyone, but just able to lean on Jesus. When you find that, you know that you found love. But if you didn't find that, no. Keep looking, because you'll find love. That is the love that is unconditional. You don't need any, you just feel, you just reach a certain stage that you feel satisfied. All the corners are being closed because you're satisfied and you could sit comfortably because you found that shoulder, that shepherd to lean on. It's a peace like you never find before, or you never understand what it says. You know when they say peace, that is what I'm talking about. It's a peace, it's a serenity. It's something that I cannot explain it to anybody. But I know, I hope you're fine. Things does not look the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
People doesn't look the same in your eye. And it doesn't feel the same to you. Find that place where you could lean on and nothing else matters. Because you reach the stage where you know it's all in. May God bless you.
Praise the Lord.
Sergeant, I love you. Bishop John, I love you. Shepherd Kenneth,
Yeah.
I love you.
Thank you very much. Same to you. Yes, I love you too.
I have gained some great respect and honor for you.
Thank you.
Because you always dare to stand by Bishop S.B.C. It doesn't matter whatever he calls you are here. And for that, I respect you, I love you, and I pray God that he too will always be grateful.
I hope so too. Yes.
May God bless you.
Thank you so much. Oh yes.
Blessed
assurance,
Jesus is mine. So what a Now, those who know me know that if I come to work, you better hard have I do. I have a problem when you hear you walk me and you pay me. Because I'm reading it in the Word of God.
yes.
You said this is the first time that you're out preaching in an anniversary. I want to tell you now, nothing go without pay. Don't let nobody work you and then pay you. And I'm making sure that you're walking with an assistant. So I'm giving you it in your hand because I want you to be blessed. Amen? Amen. And I want to bless you in the name of God the Father. And I want to bless you in the name of God the Son. And I want to bless you in the name of God the Holy Spirit. Amen? When we was growing up, they used to send us the preacher when we were on preachers. in case some people say give us a bread. No more of that. The bread thing done. Now, family in Christ and heads of churches, we are not living in that time anymore. Amen? They're taking money to build the house of God. They're taking money for the clothes to go to the laundry. They're taking money for him to come from where he come from. They're taking gas to go in the car, isn't it? Yes. All right. So when the young man come or anybody come to deliver our word, our job is to make it known, is to give them an envelope that they could do something with. Stop telling them thank you and give them a bread. Amen? God bless you.
We praise the Lord. We coming down, brethren. And before I call upon our Bishop Ashby, there's an announcement here. It says July 15, the 22nd and 29th, you have a revival service at 10 a.m. And August the 1st to the 5th, they have baptism. And August the 24th to the 26th, the annual pilgrimage, which is to Grenada. We give God thanks. And 24 to the 27th. Praise the Lord. I've been corrected, as the paper says, to the 26th. We praise God as we're going to call upon our Bishop Ashby. We have the table to finish to bless. And as we call and we look on what's there, the song that came to me. Come to the feast, children, come to the feast. Oh yeah, come to the feast and get and we'll believe us where he was living. Oh yeah, where he was living. Where he was living. Coming again, and we'll come to the children, come to the come to the feast. We sing again, some sort of, as they say, dividends return from our investment, because the Bible has adequately instructed us, that we do not throw pearls to swine, but we're looking for something back in our turn, according to the layman which we have put out. The scripture declared out to us, according to the cleanliness of thy hands has the Lord recompensed thee. So if you know your hands not clean, don't look for no blessing. You're not doing what God has the authority to do. You might as well go your way. But if you have been called and set aside and you know you're walking circumspect to the will of God, the Bible says draw nigh. Draw nigh that you may be able to take part in what God has predestined before we even began, because God knew this day was about to come.
We didn't know. We had no idea, we had no expectation. But it's according to his blessings here, his brothers here. So if we can gather once more as we bless and offer this table up in all the name of Jesus. Gather yourself together. Gather yourself together. Gather yourself together. For the coming of the Lord is nigh. Gather yourself together. Gather yourself together. For the coming of the Lord is nigh.
table seems a little bit balanced yet a bit unbalanced, because I want to show if some of the grapes, if it's good grapes, if it's sour grapes.
Yes.
I want to tell you, if you get some of the grapes that is not of good standing, you could leave it to ferment. Yes. Instead of trying to taste it. Let me tell you, when you reach to this table, you must do the servant to taste it. And look at the reaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. Yes.
And when you look at the reaction, if they start to steal it, it means it's sweet, right?
Yes.
But when they back away, it means to say it needs some time to grow. You know, to have a table like this, it's good on such a day. And the reason why it's good, because it's good to give God thanks. Amen. You got to thank Him for the good times. They don't give thanks for the bad times. Let's be honest now, church. When you're having some bad time, what you just do? You just put the need to the earth and forget about saying, thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to grow with the bad times. Amen? Yeah. So those who have to get your vessels to bless.
Bring the baskets, please.
Yeah. Those who have to get your vessels to bless, come forward.
Jesus, keep me
confuse me more. I speak at any time, anywhere. I said in this church, when our daughter was mourning, I said, they can't put me out of here. You understand? So you can't confuse me. We had one table. I talked nicely. I was being very nice. Now you bring a plot. And you change the dimension. You're trying to test me today. On this 20. Hold my glass. But the word said what? You serious? You put a tree in the midst. You're a woman. I'm not supposed to allow you to put a tree in the midst of the garden. I was tricked once before. I shall not be tricked a second time around. Hey, oh God, but to God be the glory and great things that He has done. Oh yeah? But I could respond accordingly. Blessed shall thou be in the city. Amen? Amen. I am going to talk the unknown, because if I talk the unknown, it might leave somebody trying to figure. So let me give it the way it should be. Blessed shall thou be in the field. Amen. Come on. A woman put a tree, and you're not going to bless the field. And the next time you put a tree on top of a table, I will shout till glory come down. But I'm getting old now. Let's tell you, bro. Shake the tree, let him fall. 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 And I want to remind you to breathe. Because I will take you to the time when Moses had to meet the bush. And then I will ask you to get the bamboo before you bring this. The tree. It's not decoration. It's about the fulfillment of God. Come on, put that tree. Put the bamboo. But I need to share this blessing. I need to go from tribe to tribe. I want city to city. Okay?
Hello.
I want to bless. So when I bless, power that is in me, it means the power that is in the Godhead. Amen? That when I say I bless you, I want to bless you abundantly. I'm an old man now, so I don't shout anymore. Shouting don't bring blessing. Shouting brings us to what? Some kind of union with one, right? It allows us to do what? Get back to the letter Hello, the blessing. Hey, you shall receive according to your limit. Blessed shall all be in the city. Blessed shall all be in the field. I want her to be able to quiet. Blessed shall be the fruit of the body. And the fruit of thy ground is doing her work. And the fruit of thy cattle increase of thy kind, the flock of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket. Come on! And thy store. Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in. Blessed shall thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies to rise up against thee. It shall come against thee one day and flee before thee. Hello, this is not about her, but the work that has passed on to. So you see how you're blessed to feel. And you're blessed to feel because of this. The green signals. Oh, fruit. That's not my fruit. Come tell them. Yes.
Hello. How you been? How you been?
Anybody have a bottle of water on them?
Teach.
Just keep in mind she's young and tender.
Yes.
You gotta do something with her, you gotta explain it to her.
Yes. See now it's sweetness.
Hello. So that she will understand step by step. Step by step. What we say. Okay.
Hello, you dog.
Yes.
Yes.
We must always recognize what stands at the helm, right? You tell me okay. Now I shall proceed. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his good. And Israel now say,
that his mercy endureth forever.
The house of Aaron now say,
That his mercy endureth forever.
let them know that fear the Lord say,
That his mercy endureth forever.
call upon the Lord in distress, and the Lord answered me and set me in a large place.
His mercy endureth forever.
The Lord is on my side, I will not fear. What can man do to me? The Lord taketh my part with them that help me. Therefore shall I see my desire upon them that hate me. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. This all nations compass me about, but in the name of the Lord. Yes. All nations compass me about. Yes. All nations compass me about, but in the name of the Lord. See it. All nations compass me about. Say it. All nations compass me about, but in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them. Set her up for success, not for failure. They compass me about like these. They are branches of fire of thorns. For in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them. Thou hast thrust so at me, and I might fall. But the Lord helped me. The Lord is my strength and my song, and has become my salvation. The voice of rejoicing and salvation is in the tabernacles of the righteous. The right hand of the Lord doeth valiantly. The right hand of the Lord is exalted. The right hand of the Lord doeth valiantly. I shall not die, but live, and declare the works of the Lord. Whoa. The Lord had chastened me sore, but he had not given me over unto death. Open to me the gates of righteousness. Open to me the gates of righteousness. I will go into them, and I will praise thee. The gates of the Lord, into which the righteous shall enter. I will praise thee, for thou hast heard me, and art become my salvation. And I've become what? My salvation. And I've become my salvation. The stone which the builder refused is become the headstone of the corner. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We rejoice in thee. Save now, I beseech thee. Save now, I beseech thee. Blessed he that cometh in the name of the Lord. We will bless you out of the house of the Lord. God is the Lord which hath showed us light. Bind the sacrifice with war. Stretch your hand. Bind the sacrifice. Stretch your hand. Bind the sacrifice. Even unto the horns of the altar. Thou art my God, I will praise thee. Thou art my God, I will exalt thee. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. I want to thank God for you. That in your meekness and your humility, he wasn't even aware that the torch was being passed. Because if I said that to you, you might have said, Shepherd Kenneth, I'm not ready. Right now, this minute, right? God is so ready for you. I want you to find yourself between the two of them. But I want you to sing now for me. Anything that comes to your heart, and I will sing with you. The changing now. don't know what is your trouble. And I'm not too sure what is your joy. But I know that your praise is going to be good. And you know I'm your uncle. I'm the only good looking uncle.
Hello, somebody.
You don't need to call me, you just need to show up at times. And remind me that you have the authority to bother me. My words are not always nice. Soft but straight but white. But I promise I will never give you a wrong. Promise you. I promise I will never allow you to do something and not expect. My first gift was a teacher. And my last gift is going to be a teacher. I'll teach you how to teach. I'll teach you how to lead. How to lead aright. Some will like you. Some will fake that they like you. And some are going to lie when they say that they don't like you. But you need to love all. It's a road without an end. Raise your body and give God thanks in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy. Praise God. True. Yes.
Long staff.
Oh no.
For a staff at least 3 years. But there are 3 staffs that
So
are
they're standing there.
wooden staff standing right at the table right there.
If we can get a representation of one, please. And let's continue, Bishop. Yes. Holy day. The Lord is my shepherd. He maketh me leadeth me beside the still waters. Stirred my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me. 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 Thou preparest for me the blood of the man enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. And every year for 25 long years, Lord, that the ARK has started from one stage and climbed this ladder of success to reach to this point and to this time and this hour. Father, words is not enough to thank you for what you have done and what you're yet still about to do. We praise and we lift up your holy name because your name is so worthy to be held in counsel. Tonight, dear Lord, I want to thank you for the speaker tonight. That you're going to not only just build him in grace, Lord, you're going to build his confidence. You're going to push him and make him as the way you, Lord, want him to be. Father, Lord, that he will know to say, speak, Lord, thy servant hear it. Jesus, thou son of David tonight. And thank you for every church, every heads of church, every church that is represented here today. We pray, Lord, that the blessings will flow from heart to heart. And as they return to their several homes, you take them home safely, O Lord. I want to thank you for my bishop and my amish tonight. I want you to bind them, keep them together, Jesus. I want you to preserve them, Lord. Preserve them, Jesus, to me up my eye. And that remember tingling in your love. Because I know that you are God and God alone. Father, you could create and you could destroy and you could make every crooked path straight. I want you to bless them. Bless them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Bless them, Lord. Because we know that the power comes from thee and thee alone. We thank the Lord for the source of your food. Saving grace of the Lord Jesus Christ. May the good Lord. May the good Lord.
We thank the Lord for this and those because of Jesus' blood. Those because of Jesus' blood. Jesus. And the cost we give us. Our souls we give us.
Sister Margaret.